This automation helps me to better understand which people are subscribing to my newsletter and also if they're running a business. And before we will have a look into the workflow itself, I would like to show you how the output looks like. The complete analysis is saved into a Google spreadsheet and two different spreadsheets. So we have non-business emails, which will include every email where the subscriber is using something like Gmail, Outlook, Yahoo, or something similar, and also business emails. So if they are using kind of a custom domain, and in this case, I used my own email address to demonstrate the workflow. And as you can see, it was able to figure out if it is a custom domain. So we have a value equal to true. What is the website about? In which niche is this website? And also what kind of service does this website offer? Which will help you to understand better what kind of people are joining your newsletter, and which will eventually give you also the opportunity to improve your content as well as your campaigns, because then you know what kind of services are they offering and also assume which kind of pain points do they have. So let's start with the workflow itself. As you can see, it's quite simple. We don't have a lot of nodes, and you also don't have to recreate it because it's completely for free. I have added it to my GitHub repository as well to my website, and I will put both links into the description. And the first step is to get all your subscribers. So in this case, I am using MailerLite, and n8n already offers a node for it. So for instance, with MailerLite, I can get all my subscribers, get a single subscriber, update a subscriber, or also some triggers. So in case I want to run this automation whenever a new subscriber has been added to a specific group and so forth. But also other email software providers are available. For instance, MailChimp, Brevo, and many more. And in case you don't have any node for your software, then most likely you will be able to use the HTTP node and do a simple GET request with an API key or something similar to get all your subscribers. So as I said, in my case, I am using MailerLite, and this is also what the output looks like. I have replaced some values to don't reveal any information about my subscribers. So as you can see, we have an ID, the email, status. So these two are really important because this one will allow us to check if they are using a business email or not, and also if they are active or have unsubscribed or didn't confirm the sign up yet. Then the next step is to get only subscribers that are active. So here's just a simple filter, which will check if status is equal to active. And if so, then we will keep the data. And if not, then we will remove it. Then the next step is to get all the emails into a list, because in the next node, we will check if they are using an email from a common provider like Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook, or something similar. And if they are using it, then we will add to the is custom domain false. So they are most likely not using a business email. But if they don't use any of the common email providers, then we will set the value to true, which means they might have a website, and it also might be possible to get some more information about them. And if we have a look into the code of the node, it's quite simple. The only thing we do, we check if the email contains any of the substrings from the common domains. And if so, then we will set the value is custom domain to false. And if not, then we will set it to true. And right now, it's, in my opinion, not the best solution because there are many other email providers out there, and there's also a link to it. So I've added it here. And it would be also possible as an alternative to use an external API to check, first of all, if they didn't use a trash email and if they use their business email. But if you have a mailing list with a lot of subscribers, then it might be also quite expensive to do it. That is the reason why I have added in the next step a simple check if they have a website or not, but we will come to this node in a second. After we have checked which emails are most likely a custom domain or not, then we will save all the emails where they're using a common email provider, for instance Gmail and so forth, into a spreadsheet called non-business emails. And if they're using a business email, then we'll keep them here and also do a simple check if we have analyzed them before, because as you can see, I don't use a trigger here to check if someone has signed up for my newsletter and then run the automation once, because as of now, I prefer to run it manually. And since I don't want to run the analysis for everyone again and again, I have added here a simple node to get the subscribers that are already analyzed. And then we do a simple check where we compare both data sets. And in this case, if we have a look into the business email spreadsheet, we can see that I have added here info domain 1, 2, and 3. So imagine these ones were already analyzed. And the only thing in the email which is new would be in this case hello@marvomatic.com, because this row was added in the last workflow run. And we can also see it here in the B branch. So here we can see that the only difference between The list of emails we got from the MailerLite node, and the Google Spreadsheet node is hello@marvelmatic.com. That's also a reason why we'll keep this one. And then we will check if they do have a website. So we will loop over every domain. So in this case, it's just one, and start with a simple ping, because if someone is using a business email, that does not mean they also have a website. And if they don't have a website, then it's also not necessary to use in the next step crawl for AI to check the content, because it will run into an issue. And if you're hosting it somewhere else, then this would mean you would waste computing power for something that won't work at all. If the ping is successful, so in this case, I have done it with my own website. So we got some data back, which means the website is working and we can analyze it in the next step, which we will do by using crawl for AI. So we will give it to crawl for AI, then we will get a task ID, which means in the background, crawl for AI will crawl the website content of the given domain. So in this case, it would be marvelmatic.com. Once crawl for AI is done, then the if node is completed will return true, because the status will be completed. And as a result, we will get the most important information like title, description, the content of the website in Markdown, which will help us to better understand what is the website about. And in order to get information we did get here, like about, niche, and services, I have created a simple prompt which will always check what is the website about, what is the niche or industry it belongs to, and what kind of services are they providing, which will also mean that we have to provide the website content, which is, as I mentioned before, the title, meta description, the language that is used on the website, as well as the content. And in order to make sure that the output, or let's say the answer from OpenAI, is kind of the same, I have added here to the system prompt also an example how the structure should look like, so as a JSON, and so far it worked quite well. As an alternative, you could also add a structured output parser, which might be more reliable, but as of now, this didn't run into any issues. And once the analysis is done, we will save the output into the spreadsheet and do the same analysis for the next email. In case you want to use automation as well, you can find it on my website under products, and as you can see, it's free. Or if you prefer GitHub, then you can also get it in my GitHub repository and at n8n Tempplates under mailing list analysis. And I've also added some basic information how to set it up, and also which columns are required for the Google Sheets. And in case you do have any questions, feel free to add them to the comments, and we will see each other in the next video.